Back Pod Stream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com. How's your Tuesday night going, folks? Welcome to Got Your Back, a rare off-night pod. Already got some requests in the stream. JL wondering if the Zubie game is returning tonight. No, it's not. JL, maybe we'll squeeze in one more before the playoffs. We'll see if we can find some time. But not tonight, because we've got the doc tonight. Darnell Nurse, had a great conversation with him yesterday. So that'll be our feature interview tonight on the show. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. So pleased that you were able to join us tonight. Jason Strudwick will be joining us in just a moment. We got Zubie at the controls, and Robbie Brown will hop in for the second segment, talk a little bit about where the Oilers are at, what do potential playoff lines look like. Ask us anything as well. We want to chat with you tonight, so please hop onto the stream. Let us know your questions, and we'll get to those a little bit later on. Looking forward to a great show tonight. It's brought to you, as always, by the sharp new look of Play Alberta. How about that tight logo? It's always game time. Bet on sports. Find your new favorite slot. Hit the tables. Play on a virtual table with a live dealer. Grab your lottery tickets. You do it all safely with responsible gambling tools that'll help keep you safe. Deposit today, and that'll get you a free $50 bet with the code GYB03 at playalberta.ca. Tucked in nice and cozy, the home studio, the Adrenaline Diesel Studio. Did you know they've got an online store for all your diesel truck parts needs? Check out adrenalinediesel.ca. As we check in with the two stars of Struddy's World. Next episode is set to drop tomorrow at 12 o'clock Mountain Time, 12 to 1, Chris Sabunia and Jason Strudwick. How's the new show going, boys? How's it coming, Struddy? I think we're 5 episodes in, give or take, and you guys working out the kinks, you developing the chemistry. How we doing with it?
Yeah, I think we're really happy with it, and we love the interaction with the listeners. I think that, just always trying to make it better. Like, Zubie's a perfectionist, and I'm also here. So,
I show up as well.
Yeah, I'm also have a heartbeat, and no, just kidding. But I think we are. Like the first couple, we were just happy to get through them, and not that I thought they were great, but now we're really trying to just keep adding to it, right, Zoobs?
Yeah, totally. And I am a perfectionist in kind of the look and feel of things, and then this is kind of new for me to be involved in the content on that level. So then the new thing for me was going back, and like last week's show, I went and listened to it after, expecting to not hate it, but to second guess myself, and I listened to it again and I was like, oh, that's better than I thought it was. So I was happy. So yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm coming off the top rope tomorrow with something. And
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little teaser
I can
there.
tell when
okay.
When Zubie's passionate about a text, it's coming in hot. Like I can just tell, because usually it's like, hey, Struddy, what's up? And then this one was like, hey, man, this is what we're going to do. I'm like, hey, that sounds great. Like if you're that passionate about, let's do it. So I love it. We're starting to get it. And it's been, like I said, it's been really good. And the interaction's been really great. But Zubie, I can tell when the big man's fired up, and I love it because tomorrow I'm not sure which way it's going to go.
The phone's been buzzing a bunch with the Struddy's World chat. Normally it's the Got Your Back chat that keeps things active, but you guys have been on fire with that. So look forward to another episode tomorrow. And I will be down at Oiler practice morning skate tomorrow. Got the Oilers and the Dallas Stars set to go tomorrow. So I'll be at morning skates, and I will join you for Struddy's World tomorrow. Look forward to that. Looking forward to the show tonight. Had a chance to catch up with Darnell Nurse yesterday in the locker room. So we're going to get to that interview in our breakdown. Brought to you by the Alberta Ram dealers. The 4x4 winter event is here. Get up to $11,200 in total discounts on a 2024 Ram 1500 DT Bighorn at your Alberta Ram dealer. See your Ram dealer today. JL says we need Struddy's World merch. Definitely it's on the to-do list to get a little Struddy's World merch. You guys got a Dynamite logo, so we'll have to figure that out. Jincy Ruse says, very glad you guys are on tonight, Zuby. Yes, we were all very glad to be on tonight, too. Now, we said before we were going to be on Monday night, a couple of scheduling conflicts, so that's why we pushed until tonight. Okay, Struds, if I were to say to you, Darnell Nurse's season so far this year has been blank, what would you fill in the blank with?
An improvement, and an improvement on last year. I think that he's taken a step forward this year in a lot of ways. And, you know, I think that he with the guidance of Paul Coffey, the rotation of partners, I think he's been steady, trying to play his brand of hockey, which is moving the puck, being physical, intimidating, and quite frankly, keeping it simple. And that doesn't mean not skilled. It just means keeping his game simple. So an improvement on last year.
Yeah, and I would say across the board, like, you know, I agree with everything you're saying. You know, there's a simplification there, picking his spots. He's got his snarl back a little bit, I would say. We're seeing that. He's a little more menacing out there, a little bit more off. And the other thing I'm noticing with Darnell is he's a lot more at ease. He's at ease, you know, dealing with us in the media. He's at ease with the pressure that comes at him. And I think there's been, I don't want to use the word maturation because he's a grown man, but I think there's been, for whatever reason, he just seems to be a little bit more at ease with the whole situation. So I don't know if that's a run to the Stanley Cup final or what. But these are all things that I asked him about. Also asked him, Struds, about the Oilers' physicality this season. Does he believe that they're going to be able to flip the switch when they need to? And you will like his answer on that one for sure. So took a couple of minutes yesterday after practice. We'll get to our Weiss Johnson soundbox here, and this is our conversation with Oiler veteran defenseman Darnell Nurse. So, Darnell, there have been some ups and downs to the team game over the last month and a half or so, but I know you guys are working hard to get her straightened out. What are you seeing right now with the group and maybe some of the things that are going better for you?
I would say there's definitely ebbs and flows, but I think there was also probably a point over the course of that run where we were probably playing better than the results. Let me help you out here before you.
This is funny. I got a skate dripping water on my face during the interview. Sorry, you were saying about your game.
Yeah, no, I think us as a team, we've continued to kind of just understand that our game, the process of our game, and the first starts with defending. Once that starts to get tidied up and cleaned up, the offensive side would come. And I think we've done a much better job of that, especially as of late, of checking our way to wins, and our offense has found a way to pick up, especially over the last couple, and so it's got to continue.
So you got a new D partner that you're getting used to and working with. Just some early thoughts on Jake's game, some of the things he brings that you think help, and how it's been blending the two of you together.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I think there's a little bit of a process to it. Getting familiar and playing with each other, and the lefty. But I've been fortunate. I played a lot with Cooley over the course of the year, so you get used to playing with the lefty over there. But he's got a lot of confidence out there, which as a partner you love, because a lot of times you feed off that. If he wants to make plays, you want to make plays as well. He's got very, very good mind for the game, and whether that's reading, pinching down, holding the puck in, or staying tight on somebody. So he's very easy to read off of, and he's always making the right moves or right reads. And for me, it allows me also to not take risks, but sometimes play a little bit tighter, knowing that he's going to be there and come across. And so I think it's fun. I think there's a gelling in a sense of. There's a sense of gelling coming together between me and him, and we just got to continue to work at it.
How does it work shift to shift? Is it predetermined who's going to be on which side? Is it, I know sometimes you end up switching mid-shift, but what's sort of the default mode? Like, I'm right tonight, you're left, and if it changes in shift, no big deal? Or how's it work shift to shift?
Yeah, no, usually just go out. He's on the right side. That's how we start it. You come out of the gate, depending on what period it is. The left side goes first, or right side goes first, and then when we get out there, and if I see him staying in or the attack, the puck coming off the wall and he's on the left side, I'll just yell at him to stay. Yeah, because you've been on the right quite a bit.
Oh,
yeah. No, so it's you just you got to read and react also off the play because you don't want a guy to be scrambling and trying to get back to his side, and all of a sudden you're giving up gap or you're giving up space where you can keep a puck in. So, a lot comes down to just reading the game and having the feel for it. And I think I don't mind wherever I am on the ice, and I'm sure he's the exact same. You just skate and play, and the looks are a little different, but it's just defense at the end of the day.
How have you felt about your overall game this season, Darnell? Like we've asked you a lot about it this year, and I think the general consensus is you found a really good level to your overall play this year. Would you agree with that? Do you think there's been, an improvement there, if that's even fair to say? And what do you think that's from?
I think it's just consistency. I think, as a D-man, you just want to come in and, as any player in this league, you want to come in and be as consistent as possible. And there's going to be highs and lows. It's limiting the lows, not getting too high on the highs and finding a standard to play at. I think I found probably a little bit of a higher standard and held myself to it a little more. And then with that said, I think there's also, once you set a new standard, you want to continue to build off and grow and be more and more, whether it's dynamic, better defensively, creating more for your teammates. Once you set that standard, it kind of just becomes a foundation. Anytime it slips under that, that's when you got to pull yourself back up and build off it and try to set that new standard, whether it's a month or whatever.
So what are the metrics that you pay attention to figure out when that standard is slipped? Like the public out there, they'll watch game to game and they'll see some mistakes here or they'll make assumptions. But what's the signal to you that, okay, got to get her going here?
Yeah, if I'm on my heels, if I'm slow, if I'm standing around too much, if I'm not aggressive enough, that's for me. That's when I'm not engaged enough. If I'm going to err, I'm going to err on the side of aggression. And the times that if I'm watching two games, I make two mistakes in different games, and two are on my heels and two are on my toes. I'll take the one on my toes every single day of the week. So that's kind of the way I look at it.
I'm going to make an observation here, and you can tell me to beat it if you want, but I've been covering you since you came into this league. It would seem this year, Darnell, that you are a lot more at ease, even just dealing with us, doing some media, talking at ease. It felt like things were tense for a few years. I don't know. What do you think about that? Have you changed your approach at all, or where's your head at on standing here and dealing with us, annoying you with these questions, and dealing with the media?
I got my own internal process for it. I think, at the end of the day, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change the public opinion or whatever, and quite frankly, I don't care. And I think I've finally gotten to the point where I just don't care what anyone else thinks, and I'm just here for my teammates, appreciating this game, having fun, and playing the way I play this game, and honestly just not caring what anyone else thinks.
That takes some getting to, to actually. It's one thing to say, I'm going to shut it out.
Yeah, no, you just got to commit to it. I think it takes some getting to. It also takes, you got to go through a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and come out on the other side of it, and it's a very, very freeing feeling.
Yeah, I can imagine. Just maybe one last thought on getting your team into the mode that it needs to be in to have playoff success. Because you can have success during the regular season one way, but the playoffs require some different stuff. How are you guys doing at getting your game into that place, do you think?
I think it's getting better. Obviously, there's also a few faces that haven't played, to the extent that we have, and it's bringing that. It's as cliche as it probably sounds, but bringing that standard every day. Whether it's a Wednesday night in Utah or a Saturday night in Calgary, it's you got to be hard. You got to be, whether that's in our net fronts, game pucks out along the wall. You have to. The little details, they're just few and far between, and you can't. As we get deeper and deeper into this thing, you can't let them slip. And I think that's for our group, especially over the course of these last 12 games, is making sure that we're just dialing that in and continuing to hammer home, the details and the level that we have to play at each and every night.
Last one I'll hit you with here. I've been talking on our show quite a bit all season long about physicality. As a team, your guys' hits per 60 are down pretty significantly from last season, and I've asked Chris about it a bunch. He's not overly concerned about it. You know what's required physically in the playoffs. What do you think about this group's ability to flip that switch when you need to, and you feel you'll be able to get there physically when you need to?
Yeah, we're missing a couple guys that add to that too, right? That are going to bring in a lot of physicality when they come in. So, yeah, I don't think it's a big concern. I think I look around our room and maybe the hit column isn't as high as usual, but there's a lot of guys in here that are very annoying to go into corners with, very annoying to get in front of the net with, have a knack for, whether it's stripping pucks or winning a corner battle. That's tough to play with, and that's a sense of hardness in itself too. So there's multiple ways to be hard in this league. Obviously the hit column is one of them, but there's also those little nuances to the game that I think our team does a really good job at.
Appreciate it, Darnell. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, from the Weiss Johnson soundbox, there is Darnell Nurse. What'd you make of that, Struds? Anything stand out to you, buddy?
I really like this comment about, not to put words in his mouth, but it seems at peace with his game. And I think when you're at peace with your game, you know who you are. And, I can just go through my own experience. You kind of want to keep shooting for higher and higher levels. And I've got decent level, but you just become, this is who I am, and this is what I do. And this is what I provide for the team. My teammates value it. Now, it might not always be valued in the press or the media, or I guess those things are the same thing, or the fans. But you're just like, this is what I bring, and this is what I do, and I got to do it every night. And that's what I hear when I hear Darnell talking. I feel like that's where he's at, Shaugger, in the questions laid out for him.
Do you think that what he said about truly getting to a place where he's not worried about what people think, do you think, that's something that almost every player will say. I don't know how many of them actually get there, because it's just human nature to seek out others' opinions of you. And for these guys, it's just absolutely everywhere. Do you think it's possible? Because his disposition would suggest that he is in a better place with all that stuff.
I think the contract, he probably feels pressure to live up to it. And the reason you get the contract, and I remember Glenn Saylor saying this to me many times, not that I got a big deal, but the contract you get is because of what you've done. And we want you to keep doing that. Not, not always because what we think you can do. Now, sometimes, but when you're an older player, I think this is where they're at. So he just sounds really at peace. And I think his game looks like it. His game looks like he's at peace with what he is. And he's a really important part of this team. He's valued by his teammates. That's clear. They all talk about it. And when he's moving the puck quickly and following the play up, he's a lot to handle. He's a force on the blue line for the Oilers.
100%. All right. Now, thanks again to Darnell Nurse for taking a little bit of time with us. That interview was in our Weiss Johnson soundbox, brought to you by Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. It's time for a new furnace, garage heater, maybe a hot water tank, or if you're looking to beat the rush on getting a new air conditioning unit for the summer, act now. Specializing in servicing your existing mechanical systems or installing new ones, Weiss Johnson is here for all your home comfort needs. Visit weiss-johnson.com today. Jingle.
Oh! Sticky fingers.
Wrong button.
I'm going to have to text Dennis right now.
I'm sorry, Dennis. I was so excited.
Oh, the wrong button on the Weiss Johnson jingle. Wow. Okay. Zuby, you got a long way to go to redeem yourself tonight, buddy.
I'm letting it roll here.
Yeah, let it roll. Sorry about that, Dennis. All right. We're going to fix this. We're going to make this right, people. We promise we're going to make this right.
Just don't surprise me.
Zuby.
Don't surprise me with it.
All right, sounds good. Well, you had the whole ad read to get your finger on the right button. Hop in, Zuby. Let's get to our De Boers Golf Shop and Fitting Center YouTube poll. By the way, Noel Rinsky, I believe Noel Rinsky might be a De Boers shopper. Noel, chime in on the stream if you are. I feel like Scotty said, he said he ran into one of our listeners, and I believe it was Noel, and might have even walked out of there with a Got Your Back hat. I'm not 100% certain of that, but rumor has it. That's De Boers Golf Shop and Fitting Center. You know that the snow is melting. It's just about time. I was down there yesterday, and the place is absolutely buzzing. They got lots of new stock in. They got lots of great stuff. So definitely recommend you get down to 5311 99th Street to see Scotty, Al, TJ, the great staff down at De Boers. They'll get you rocking and rolling for the upcoming golf season. Okay, what do we got for a poll tonight, Zuby?
Keeping it on topic with Darnell Nurse, we said to the fans, to the stream here, how do you feel about Darnell Nurse's play this season compared to last? So the four options are way better, small improvement, about the same, or worse.
Okay, there you go. So weigh in. Let us know how you feel about Darnell Nurse's season, and we will get to those results sometime towards the back half of the show. Kind of just whenever it fits in, we usually squeeze those results in there. Rob Brown is standing by, waiting to hop in. So we're going to get to a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive in on the Oilers, where they're at. Is this injury going to hurt Leon Draisaitl's Hart Trophy chances? I don't know. Maybe we'll discuss that. What do playoff lines potentially look like? A lot of people look at this Chychrun deal and wonder if it affects Evan Bouchard. Lots of Oiler content coming up, so stay with us here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
For over 60 years, Bell Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at sequelanddentistry.com.
Yep. Almost sounds like Cheers. Welcome back to the program. Time now for our takeaways, brought to you by Horizon Ag and Turf. It's feeling like spring outside. What a day today, which means the yard work's about to begin. Make it easier with the John Deere compact utility tractor, ready to tackle any task. Visit Horizon Ag and Turf to find the right model of tractor for you. Right now, you can get 0% financing for 84 months on select compact tractors. Visit Horizon Ag and Turf at one of their 13 Alberta locations or online at horizonagandturf.com. There's Robbie Brown. How are we doing today, Brownie?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. How are you guys?
What'd you get up to today, man? What was Brownie doing out there in the world?
Well, my son and I went to a movie today. Went and saw a movie called Black Bag. It was just okay. And then my
I've
wife
seen
and
it.
what'd you think?
It. You know what? The group I was with did not love it. I didn't mind it. I thought it was well acted. I liked the actors that were in it. I thought it was interesting, but not a ton of action. Hey, buddy, like a spy thriller. Espionage spy thriller without any action.
Yeah, that was it. It's like it was just slowly through it, and then at the very end, they just told you what happened. There was no like plot changes because there was nothing that happened in it. And at the very end, they explained how they did it. You're like, oh, okay, that was all right. And then we just went for dinner to La Petite Isa with my wife and son. It was fantastic.
Nice. Love it. That sounds like a great day. Sounds like a rock solid day.
It was a good day. And now I get to do a podcast with my friends. How could it get any better than that?
Yeah. Well, we're thrilled to have you, pal. We just had a Darnell Nurse interview on. I asked Struds, I'll ask you the same thing. Darnell Nurse's season has been blank. What would you fill in the blank with, buddy?
Fantastic. I think it's been a fantastic year. I mean, where he was last year, where he was in the playoffs, the heat he took throughout the year, throughout the summertime, and he just kind of brushed it all aside, and I think he's had a fantastic year. He has been the Oilers' most consistent defenseman this season. Bush has had ups and downs. Ekholm has had ups and downs. Kulak has had some sensational moments, but I think Nurse has just been steady, and I think it's been fantastic for the Oilers and gives the Oilers two great pairings going into the playoffs. So I think it's Darnell Nurse is, I don't know he'll ever live up to the contract because some people still think he's overpaid, but I think Darnell Nurse is now living up to his potential. I think he's hitting his bar most nights.
Yeah. Struds, how are you feeling about the pairing? Its ability to kind of gel, longevity here. Does it feel like a better fit than when he was with Kulak? What do you think?
I think I preferred Kulak, but I think they had more time together. So
Yeah.
you can't just judge it on one game or 60 minutes. You got to give them time to get that chemistry, understand how to work off each other. Now, I think it's a lot easier for two D-men to get chemistry than three forwards. There's not that many plays really to make, right? It's defending and trying to get the puck up the ice. But I think that they need time. And I think that the ceiling is potentially higher with these two guys than it is with Kulak. That being said, I love the way Kulak has played for the most part of this year. But I think the ceiling is higher with this guy.
Studs, I agree with you. I think the ceiling's higher offensively, but I think I think Kulak is a safer bet defensively.
Yeah, fair point.
I think Wallman is a high event defenseman. Like he'll make some fantastic offensive plays, and then he'll make some plays you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you can't make that if you're a top four defenseman. So I think he is very high event. Fortunately for the Oilers, Nurse has been much more low event this year, so he's the one that's actually, the calming presence in that twosome.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder through this final, half month worth of a season, or half month worth of a schedule here, if it'll be the look every night, if they'll even try anything else, or if that's kind of that die is cast that those two will be together. Or if, because that Kulak Nurse pairing did have some pretty good looks this year. And I guess, we'll circle back around on Ty Emerson here a little bit, guys. My expectation is he's going to play this week. I would hope they'll find a game to get him into. I'll be down at practice tomorrow. We will see. But high time to get him going here, Brownie. I'd I'd throw him in against the Dallas Stars here. You got to get this guy going again.
You do, but the problem is he's been outplayed by Stetcher. Stetcher's been the better of them. And Struds brought it up. I don't know if it was the last podcast or a few ago. You pull Stetcher out. What's your explanation to him? Because he's been good. There's no reason to pull him out of the lineup. And I understand what Emberson brings. And you also have Klingberg that you don't want sitting for 8 weeks before a playoff game in case you need him. Mm-hmm. But it's a tough call. Like when you go to Troy Stetcher, you know what, Stetcher, I know you've done everything that we've wanted from you and more, but we're going to give this other guy a look too. So I'm sure they want to get Emberson and Klingberg some games, but I don't think it's an easy pull. And I certainly wouldn't pull him out against Dallas. I think Stetcher deserves that game. He's been that good as of late.
Yeah, and I don't think that Klingberg is ready to go yet. Sorry, go ahead, Struts.
No, I was just going to say that. I mean, Klingberg to me is a real wild card. I don't know how he gets himself up and running, right? I really don't, because it's 5 now. There's 5 guys playing the top 5, then there's 3 looking for that last spot, Shaugger. So you're Stetcher doesn't deserve to come out, but he's not big. So that's the thing. Emerson has been a little bit inconsistent recently, and he's young and inexperienced. And they got Klingberg, whose feet haven't moved like we expected to move, but he moves the puck really well. So if you put all 3 together, you probably have a $6-7 million defenseman. But as individuals, they're now, depends what the look you want. I think that's what's going to happen. It's the look you want. So they're all going to get games and they're all going to get screwed. And it sucks when you have 8D and you're clearly a top 5. There's clearly a top 5 here.
So here's the case I'll make to you, Brownie, that it shouldn't be merit-based right now. You're looking towards the postseason, and what you need is your blue line functioning at the highest level possible. I can't remember if you were on the show or not at the time, but the point I would make is that the Oilers know what they have in Stetcher, right? And I think we've seen where they feel he fits once playoff hockey hits. I think they've made that pretty clear. And so, to me, Ty Emberson has a much better chance of meaningful contribution at playoff time, given where his game can get to, given the size difference between the two of them. But he's still a young player. And if he gets a signal that a few down games equals a week and a half out of the lineup, now he's playing scared. They need to get Emberson in and going, because I believe he's their best bet for the start of the playoffs ahead of Stetcher, because we've seen where they feel Stetcher fits in, Brad.
Yeah. Okay, but why do you say they don't feel that Stetcher's a playoff guy? Why? What have they in the past have we seen with that? He was hurt the whole time last year, so he couldn't play in the playoffs. So where do you see why they don't believe Stetcher is a fit for them in the playoffs?
Yeah, Struds, I believe last year, I don't think he was hurt when the playoffs started. And he was he was down on the depth chart quite a bit.
But I don't think he barely played, right? I think that, what was it, an ankle issue or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it that came up?
It was an ankle injury.
He got hurt skating.
Yeah.
He got hurt skating every day with the rest of the guys, if I recall correctly.
I think I thought it was maybe more of just an abuse type of injury, right? It just happens for him. But guys, I hate to say this, but he's just too small for the playoffs. I agree
with you, Strud. Yep.
And that's not fair.
That's my point.
Like, that's not fair. It's 100% not fair. But I think, just to jump in front of the line here, the talking Shaugger, I think that Emberson is tired. I truly think. I think that he's played. This is more than 30 games in the NHL last year. That's not 82. It's not 82. And I think they're giving him a break. I don't think this is punishment. I think it's like, buddy, take a deep breath. Get your, not physically tired. I think mentally. It's hard, man. That first year in the NHL as a D-man, especially if you're not a top guy, it's tough. It's tough. It's mentally draining.
Well, actually, but Struds, I'll go further. I do believe it's physically tiring for him because he's been hit by them more than any other player in the NHL. He puts himself in position to get hit constantly. And now you're playing against a team like LA or Vegas or something like that. He doesn't get out of the way. And not only does he get hit, he gets hit hard. Like, it's big hits. Stetcher, you don't see that.
Yeah.
Now, I agree, Stetcher is not the perfect number 6, but I think what we've seen as of late, neither is Emberson. And that's why they went and got John Klingberg. But that didn't work. So that's why the Oilers are a five-man defense. And I don't know if Emberson is that much better. Even, I know, Shaugger, you think he's a better fit in the playoffs. I'm not sold on that from what I've seen from Emberson. I'm really not. Stetcher's outplayed him.
But the problem is that he's too small. Like, I feel bad. Like, it's like, Emerson hasn't played well, but Stetcher's too small. Like, you get in the playoffs against LA. What's he going to go against? Byfield or Fogle or Kopitar? Like, it's just unfair, but that's reality, man. It's heavy hockey.
Like, Brownie, I agree with you that Stetcher has played better recently. But there was a huge stretch of this regular season where Ty Emberson was very clearly the guy that was needed to be in the lineup every single night. I mean, he earned that. So, yes, he's had a bit of a down run here, but he's a young player. And I think you got to be willing to come back and lean back into young players. They need him in the playoffs at the same level that he was at. Remember when they put him on the penalty kill with Ekholm, how good he was, that confidence built into his game, that level that he found? They have to make sure he finds that level between now and the playoffs. So he had a few down games. He's not played a game in 10, 11 days here.
But I don't think he had a few down games. I think it's been a month and a half where Emberson wasn't near as good. And that's why they're going with Stetcher.
How many guys on the team wouldn't you have said that about?
Yeah,
there's a lot, but you can't pull out all those guys out. You can pull out, you have Stetcher to put in for Emberson. And the other guys have been moved around the lineup, up and down the lineup a lot. I don't know. Okay, here we go, Emberson. We're hoping that you're going to be good enough. We're going to put you in now, and maybe we're going to get you to where we need you to be, but we're 10 games away from the playoffs. So hope it happens fast for you. Stetcher's playing good. He's playing very good. So to me, they might put Emberson in. I don't think he's the answer either. And he's bigger than Stetcher, but he don't play big. Like, he doesn't look big. He's not a physical force out there, and he takes a beat.
Yeah,
can be. But when's the last time we saw? Like, it's been a while, and that could go to your fatigue problems, Struds.
No, and that's fair. Let's Uncle Struddy come over the top rope here. You guys worrying about the 6D man is like worrying that if you left your toilet seat up when the house is on fire. They're going to play 5D in the D-men in the playoffs, right? The 6 guy's going to get 10 minutes, 12 minutes,
protected minutes.
Yeah. So
and that's assuming they stay healthy, though, Struds. Like, he does matter. You're one injury away from having him to play 18 minutes.
Then you play 4. And you can bring Klingberg. I don't know. I don't know, but do you think, how much time do you think he's actually going to get, the 6D men?
I agree with you.
Well, I think Emberson has a chance to play. I think they've got a really good playoff defenseman in Kulak who will be his partner. And if he plays well and can be part of the penalty kill, I think he is you. That's my point. Based on what we saw in the regular season, I think there's a usable playoff defenseman there. If they can build his confidence back up and get him going again. I think they've let it go too far here, and it's time to get him going again. So I'll give you the last word, Brownie.
No, to me, the game tomorrow night, Stetcher plays for me. He's earned the right. It's not even a decision for me.
All right, very good. And we'll see maybe with the back-to-backs. And Knobloch did say that he expects him to see game action in the not-too-distant future here. Strud's on Overdrive today. You had Knobloch on. Anything notable that he said or anything stand out with him and the fellas on Overdrive?
Yeah, he was like, great to talk to you, Struddy. I'm like, no problem. No, he went out of his way to compliment the play of Nuge, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson. And I thought that was like, to me, that's very telling. And it will reveal itself in my lines for the playoffs that you want to go into. But because he went out of his way to talk about that. And I mean, he was good. But that to me was the one that really kind of stung.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, let's get to the lines then. Why don't we do that? I gave you guys the quick homework assignment and jot down it. And now the criteria was that if Evander Kane is healthy. And by the way, Evander Kane looked really good at practice yesterday. Skating well.
Good.
Was doing line rushes. Like, honestly, he looked as good as I've seen him. Although that makes sense. He should be getting better every day. But based on what I saw yesterday, you get the feeling like, another 3-4 weeks, that guy looks like he'll be ready to go. So
how far
the criteria was
April
where are we?
20th.
25th.
4 weeks?
They start
Not quite.
18th, 19th.
3-4 weeks?
Yeah, just under
So
4 weeks, I would say.
So let's say it's 25 more days to continue getting in shape. If he's skating well now, in 3 weeks, you can do a lot of damage as far as getting your strength back.
Yeah.
So if he's looking good now, that's more encouraging than I expected from him, Brownie.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it would be a big ad if they can get Evander Kane back into their lineup.
Yeah. Okay, so let's rip through some lines. Brownie, why don't you start? And again, the criteria was Frederick is back and Evander Kane is ready to go. So who do you got, buddy?
Okay, this is all under duress because a lot of things can happen between today and
Just
the first
give us
day of
the
the
lines. Don't
Okay,
you don't
so-
need to
He's already
politicalize
sandbagging
This
him.
is,
Yeah,
I'm
say it.
seriously just. I'm gonna have Kane, McDavid, and Hyman. I'm gonna have
Anyone?
Frederick,
Okay.
Draisaitl, and Connor Brown.
Ooh.
I got Podkolzin, Nugent Hopkins, and Arvidsson. And I got Janmark, Henrique, and Perry.
13, 19, 90. I like that fourth line. Okay. Struddy, much difference for you? Like you want to just drop yours or we want to discuss Brownies here?
No, I can see where we're going here with Brownies, so I'm not even going to comment on his lines. I've got Skinner. I didn't hear him in the first one. He must have got hurt in warm up. Skinner,
No,
McDavid,
I don't have him in my
Hyman.
lineup.
Trent
53,
Frederick.
97, 18. Okay.
Yeah. TF, Trent Frederick with Leon and Rico on the right wing. Then I got I got the Nugent Hopkins line. And then I got Kane.
You got your guy. You got your guy in the top 6.
Oh, sniper. We need another sniper. Kane with Brown and Janmark at center.
29, 13, 28. Okay.
Stole these
So
right out of his
fundamentally,
pocket.
you guys are both agreeing that Nugent Hopkins and that Podkolzin Arvidsson line will stay together and that Nuge will stay at 3C.
As of today.
Brownie, well,
that's a playoff.
No.
What will they be for the playoffs? Not what you.
Well, no, yeah, but I mean, between
Take
now
a
and then,
stand.
that line could go cold. They could go cold. McDavid comes
So
back
then
and
why
he
did
doesn't
you put
score.
them?
Yeah, geez,
Because we're going
don't-
on based on today. Like I have no idea when Kane. None of these things. Like
This
Skinner
is
could
game
go-
one. Game one, Brownie.
Game one. Oh, in game one, I have Nugent Hopkins playing with Connor McDavid. I do not have him third line center.
Outrageous. You know what?
I don't.
Dismiss
Isn't it all?
your
I
testimony
don't.
is dismissed from this whole thing. That was the job from game one. What's the game one, man?
You want game one?
Game
Oh, why
one
didn't you
of
guys
the
say
playoffs.
that? Why didn't you,
Well,
well,
we
you guys should
didn't.
have said that.
What did the text say?
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll give you a second to
go then.
regroup.
Okay.
We'll give you a second to regroup so you can think that through a little bit. Okay, Struds.
Okay.
So I have a couple fundamental differences from you, Struds.
Here we go.
And I know Knobloch talked about that line today, but all year long, he's found little pockets of things that work and then they don't.
Okay.
And I believe that the Oilers are too thin on the wing when they have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins at center. So I have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman for the playoffs. I think somehow between now and then, that's where they're going to land. I don't know exactly how it'll happen, but I believe that'll happen. I think Trent Frederick, when he gets back, will start down the lineup, but eventually work his way up to Leon Draisaitl's line towards the end of the season. So I have Trent Frederick with Leon Draisaitl. Now, I've also got Leon getting to make a little bit of his own call here. I'm giving him Podkolzin on the other side. Then I'm going to go with Evander Kane, Adam Henrique, and Arvidsson. This is a new line. Obviously, we have not seen it before, but I'm anticipating that third line look and feel is something they want to see and potentially works. And now this is where the Skinner versus Perry thing comes in. I'm going to go ahead and say for the start of the playoffs that they'll give Perry the nod ahead of Skinner. So I'll go Perry with Janmark and Brown as a fourth line, understanding that is where Skinner will slide in, is when Corey Perry, I don't know that he needs to be or will be an every single night guy in the playoffs this year. So that's where I've got Skinner potentially fitting in. So Nuge back on the top line, Frederick, Draisaitl, and Podkolzin. What do you think, Struds?
I think putting Skinner on the fourth line is like putting a Euro cut suit on Jamie McLennan. It's wasted.
It doesn't fit.
It doesn't fit even better.
It just doesn't fit.
I missed that one. Let's start the podcast over again. Give me another chance.
Yeah, okay. Hang on a sec. What do you think of those lines, Struds?
God, that would have been a great line. Anyways,
doesn't fit.
I think Skinner is good. I hear you, Brownie. I hear you. And I was calling for the divorce, but I think he's found a spot in this lineup. So I'm going to challenge you guys to find a spot for him in this top four.
Okay, no, I don't have him in my top six because he's on a nice little roll right now, and I think that'll stop. I just do. So here's this is what I will have for my lines. It'd be Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and Hyman. Same as Shaugger. My second line, I mean, we almost have the exact same Shaugger, except I have Kane with Frederick and Draisaitl. I have Podkolzin with Henrique and Arvidsson, and I got Brown, Janmark, and Perry. So I just flip-flopped.
Gotcha.
I just flip-flopped the two, Kane and Podkolzin.
Yeah, I do think, Brownie, I think Struds is being a little bit more realistic than either you and I about what Evander Kane might be capable of stepping right into the lineup for game one of the playoffs. Struds, you have him on your fourth line on the left side. I think that's a more realistic look than what Brownie and I are suggesting. What do you think?
I hope I'm wrong, man. I do. Like, for the Oilers, they need him to come in and be him right away. But I just, it's a long time to not play. It'll be almost a year.
I'm just saying that the bar to play with Leon isn't very hard to jump over right now, and a guy that's been out for a year can probably do it in his first game.
Might be able to skate hard, finish a few checks. You know, the one I would love to see at a certain point, and a couple of people have dropped it into the chat here, Travis Farquharson, Kane, Frederick, and Draisaitl is a nasty line to go up against. Now, I know that Draisaitl and Kane together hasn't always worked great, but you never know. But that would be a big, tough line to play against.
And that's the one that I got. That's why I got those three together. That is a big physical line you can match against anyone. Imagine the line, you come out the national anthem, you look across, and that's the three guys staring down at you. That is an intimidating line.
Someone had a pretty good, someone said Hope Shaugger, Simple 101 says Hope Shaugger is wrong. Those lines aren't great. He did. Simple 101 did not like my lines. I think probably, so really the biggest question, and we'll do it as a poll here one of these nights, but do Nugent Hopkins, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson stand the test of time here? Struds, the head coach, loves what he's seeing. Mm-hmm. The energy is good. The production is there. Will it hold, though? That is the question, buddy.
Well, I think that you're looking for an identity of your third line. So to me, the biggest thing we're wondering, we disagree, is I have Nuge at center. You guys have him as a winger. So for mine to work, Skinner has to play up there, or someone else. Someone else has to get up there. So I don't know. I that third line, they seem to be scoring. They've got some energy. So let's see how they do over the next 3 games. Right? I think that's a fair. I mean, Dallas is a Stanley Cup contender. Seattle is what they are. Then Calgary's fighting for their lives. So let's see how they do through these next 9 periods, and we can maybe reevaluate. I guess that'd be Saturday night.
Noel Rinsky says Knobloch has broken through with 53. It's happening. That coming in from DeBoer's shopper, Noel Rinsky.
Having said that, he he didn't play in the top 6 last game. Now, he looked not bad with Janmark and Brown, but I mean, he scores a couple goals and they need him in the top 6, and they still don't have him in the top 6 last game. So, yeah, I'm not sold that Knobloch and Skinner are on the same page still.
Yeah. All right. Last one I want to throw at you guys, and we'll move on here. Brownie, are you concerned that if Draisaitl, let's say Draisaitl doesn't get back till the Vegas game, say, on the 1st, so he misses another 3 games, which I think is highly possible. Like, are you starting to get concerned at all about the Hart Trophy candidacy? I mean, Nathan MacKinnon obviously will pull ahead points-wise here. Draisaitl's got the huge advantage in goals. What do you think? Could this cost him that?
Well, it's funny. To me, he was hands down the Hart winner. Yet they polled a bunch of writers that had MacKinnon winning it. I just didn't understand that then. MacKinnon, it's funny. Colorado's winning hockey games right now, and it's not on the back of MacKinnon. I've the last number of games, he's only gained, I think, 2 or 3 points since Leon's been out.
Like he's got
so
like
it's not
3
like
and 6 or something before tonight.
Yeah. So it's not like he's knocking it out of the park. If Leon comes back and he gets his 50th and ends up with 52, 53, he's my Hart Trophy winner. You want to know who's a dark horse, though, for the Hart now? Is Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel.
Yeah,
Jack Eichel's now up to 90 points. He's got a hat trick tonight. His plus minus, I think, is plus 32, plus 33. He's having a fantastic year. He's 4th in the league in scoring right now. Yeah. So he's a very good player on a very good team who's having a very good season. To me, he's going to be a guy that'll be a dark horse that can come in and maybe they split the vote. Leon and MacKinnon split the vote, and all of a sudden a Jack Eichel comes in there. But for me, Leon Draisaitl is the MVP.
For Zubies, I'll chime in. Connor Hellebuck's got to be in there too. I don't know how he's not in this conversation. He's having a hell of a year on that team. So maybe the forwards kind of all chop it up and he gets in there and he wins it. Maybe this year, because I'm not sure there's a clear-cut guy, right? Like, I think if Leon was healthy, I think he would be the guy. So I do think this affects him because there's recency bias.
Mm-hmm. Brownie, like the one thing I'll throw at you with Jack Eichel, like by his standards, he's having a fantastic season.
Yep.
And doing a really good job there. But like, has he been that much better than Connor McDavid this year? Like, Connor McDavid's numbers are better than Eichel's. His points per game are better. He scored more goals
plus minus
than he
isn't.
has.
Plus minus
plus
isn't
minus.
He hasn't got more. I don't think he's got more
isn't.
goals. Well, how many goals does Connor have now?
Connor's at 26. Eichel. Oh, did Eichel have 3 tonight?
They had a hat trick tonight.
So they're tied. Yeah. So they're tied.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, Eichel will get votes. People, they just. So I think Eichel will be in there. I agree with Struds on Hellebuck. I mean, he's having a season of the ages. This is an unheard of season that he's having in net. So yeah, to me, those are the 4 best players right now. Leon, Hellebuck, MacKinnon, and Jack Eichel are the 4 best players. I personally, again, I would give it to Leon Draisaitl. I think goals are harder to come by than assists are. And if he gets back and plays 5 more games, gets a couple more goals, to me, he's still the MVP.
Yeah. If you got 99 assists, you would have said assists are harder to come by than goals. But
nope, I never would say that. Goals are harder to get.
All right, that was Takeaways brought to you by Horizon Egg and Turf. For the break, let's get to our Relentless Player of the Day, brought to you by You Can Youth Services and Edmonton Charity. Relentless in helping youth age 16 to 24 get out of harm's way and find employment. Visit youcan.ca to see how your donation can change lives right here in our community. Struds, on this off night, who are you going to go with, my friend?
I'm going with an Albertan, a local guy, Bobby McMahon. The guy got 20 goals this year. And this guy played 3 years in the AJHL, 4 years in college, a couple of years in the minors. And this is kind of his full first year in the NHL. And 20 goals for him. So I'm really impressed with him, and sick mustache as well. But that's relentless. 7 years of all that and still making it. That's pretty good for him.
Love it.
20 goal season. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Probably
You Can Use
$6 million.
Services. Relentless Player of the Day. All right, quick break. When we come back, we got Struddy's World. We got Brownie Points, Taking a Lap, Ask Us Anything, all kinds of great content still coming your way. Throw us a like, a thumbs up in the chat if you don't mind during the break, and we'll be right back here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
At HSE Core, we are dedicated to providing unparalleled safety compliance services to small and medium-sized businesses through our monthly health and safety program management, including managing contractor screening registries and core auditing services. Let HSE Core Services help you maintain a safe workplace for you and your valued employees. Visit us at hsecore.com.
Yeah. All right, time now for us to take a couple of laps, brought to you by Acon. So if you're a skilled tradesperson or construction professional looking for work in Western Canada, they want to hear from you. They are hiring. They have jobs. Join Acon now by sending your resume over to trades@acon.com. That is trades@acon.com. Start building what matters today. Big signing in the National Hockey League today, Struddy, as we take our first lap.
Early today, we saw Jakob Chychrun of the Washington Cap signed a big deal. And so I saw the number, 8 years, $72 million. I'm like, okay, I was trying to do the math in my head. What's 8 times 6? Ooh. What's 8 times 7? No. Okay. 8 times 8. Not quite there either. 8 times $9 million, $72 million for Jakob Chychrun, 72 million clams. And I think that we have to understand that's a big number, but the cap is going to go up massively. So yeah, we have to think not about the number, but maybe about the cap percentage. But Jakob Chychrun's having a really good year. He's tops in a lot of the stats for them defensively. But just to kind of give you a little bit of a sense of where he's at, Evan Bouchard is 4th for D-man, scoring 13 goals, 42 assists, 55 points. Jake, 18 goals, 25 assists, 43 points. So that's 12 points behind Bouchard. And he got 9 clams a year. 9.
Yeah.
I mean, that opens it up, Bouchard, to 10 million right there. If I'm his agent, it's pretty simple. I mean, Nurse makes 9.25. Chychrun makes 9. My client, look at his stats. Yeah. Bouchard's his contract is he's a $10 million player based on some of the contracts out there. Chychrun's contract does not help Stan Bowman and the Edmonton Oilers when they try to decide what they give if they go long term with Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely factor in, no question. You know, the rising cap factors in. Huge. You know, I wonder guys about Evan Bouchard's performance here. And, you know, it's been up and down this season. Still, overall, on the whole, like Bouchard's possession numbers, his ability to move the puck, like he's had some big, ugly moments. And a lot of his big, ugly moments really bite him and kind of make headlines on this show. But overall, he's still incredibly valuable to this team and keeps the puck moving in the right direction way more often than most of the other players on this team. I think that needs to be remembered here. But with that said, you know, I think if he has another playoff that is similar to what he did last year, then you're opening the purse strings and you're paying him. I just think, you know, he can show you that I could have a bit of a down regular season, but when it matters most, I'm all world. I'm ready to pay that guy. But Struds, to me, a lot of the Oilers' willingness to truly open up the purse is going to be based on what he does in the playoffs this year, showing it wasn't a one-off. He can do that again.
No, and that's fair. He had an incredible playoff run last year. Absolutely incredible. So we know what the level is, and maybe that's partly why he takes some heat. But he is his goal share is really good. He makes the big mistakes.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And I think what I challenge him with is that he is supposed to be good with the puck on his stick. That's when you want him the most. Right? So you want him with the puck on his stick. There's players you don't want him to look at the puck, much less make plays with it. So I think that's what I think I challenge him with, because that's where I think his strength is. But this deal today, Brownie, it's the floor, and I don't think he's even close to the floor when it comes through.
No, and here's the problem, and if it's a problem, the heat that Darnell Nurse took for his contract,
Oof.
and it affected his play. It 100% affected his play for over a year. If Evan Bouchard signs for north of $10 million a year, every time he makes a mistake, it will just be pile on. And is he strong enough mentally to be able to overcome that? Because we've seen defensemen here before that could not, and eventually had to be moved out of town because they couldn't handle the pressure, and they didn't have anywhere near the pressure that Evan Bouchard will have if he's a 10 million plus defenseman. And I feel bad saying that, but I think that's the truth. In this market right here, there will be incredible pressure on a young player if he makes that kind of money.
The only thing I'll say to that, Brownie, is that, Evan Bouchard did something last playoffs that, we just don't see. Like he was phenomenal in the playoffs, and he was really good last year. After the coaching change, the rest of the way in, he was really, really good. If he does something similar to that again, and I don't expect him to hit the same level, but let's say he's even 85% of what he was in the playoffs last year. I think he's shown that, in the playoffs, he can find that level. Through 82 games, he might be a little bit frustrating, but I think fans are going to understand he's not necessarily earning his money during the regular season. The reason he makes the money he does, the reason why he will be paid the way he's paid, is because what he is capable of when it matters the most. And I think back-to-back years of accomplishing that, earning himself that deal, I think will buy him a little bit of a different leeway with fans understanding where that money came from. Is that fair?
It is, but you're giving him that he's going to do that again.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm not yet. I'm not giving him
But the
that.
good news is they can wait and see before they have to sign him.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
But they can or they can't. Even if what if he has an average playoff? He still has the stats to say he's a $10 million player.
Yes.
That's
but
the reality.
I'm not sure. Go ahead, Struds. Yep, go ahead.
That's the number. This if you want a long-term deal, this is where you start. Hey, this guy got us on $9 million. I have more points than him. Okay, then what do you think? $10 million? Okay, I don't really think there's much discussion. The only discussion there is if you want to go short-term, and then maybe he walks away in a year or two.
Have people commenting actually watched Chychrun play, says Buddy Hope. He is a top pairing defenseman on the top team in the league. He is big, young, keeps himself in good shape, scoring lots of goals, etc. That coming from Buddy Hope. We'll recall a few years ago, I was on the Chychrun train big time. That was before we kind of really knew that Matthias Ekholm was available, and the Oilers kind of pivoted in Ekholm's direction and surprised a lot of people. I thought Chychrun would have been a perfect fit for this group, and I was kind of loud about that. Ekholm has worked out beautifully, but Struds, if you think about where Chychrun was back then, there was lots of different injuries he'd been dealing with and stuff. Like, what an accomplishment for him to put the year and a half in that he has here and earn this money and play as well as he has.
So before last year, he never played a full year. This year, he's on track to play a full year. So that's 2 full years out of all the years he's been in. Is he going to be available, right, for the number? And listen, it's a great story, and he's in a perfect fit for that team, and everything's great. But you got to be available, and he has been. And maybe the injury problems are behind him.
Love it. Where's our next lap to take, buddy?
Let's go with Ovi again. Scoring. I can't stop watching this now. Ovi's got his another one tonight. 889, 6 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's record. I think everyone in the hockey world is tracking this. I check every time I look at the scores of Washington's playing. It's the first thing I look at. Did the grade 8 score? Because it seems incredible and improbable, but here we are.
It's true. I'm the same way, Struds. Any night that Washington's playing, I'm going on all night long onto TSN's app, checking out the TSN scores. And when I do that to see if he scores, and tonight scrolling down, he scored a goal. I know that Gretzky and I believe Bettman are going to start following him soon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, is it next game, or I think there was a number that he gets to. And once Ovechkin gets to that number, then Gretzky's going to be in the arena every single game from then on until he eventually breaks the record. So that's kind of cool, because now you'll have all the shots of Ovechkin on the ice, and every time he scores, they will peer up to Wayne Gretzky somewhere in the stands watching.
Yeah, it's going to be something to watch him cross that finish line if he can get there this season. All right, that was Taking a Lap, brought to you by our good friends over at Acon. Zuby making an executive decision. We're going to start with Brownie Points coming up next, and then we will do Struddy's World after that. So let's roll the music and get to Hamel's Premium Jerky and Brownie Points. If you're craving bold flavor and unbeatable quality jerky made with prime Alberta beef, it is made and sold right here in Canada. Remember that. Look no further. And for the month of March, you buy 2 pounds of jerky for $70. You get a free bonus quarter-pound mystery flavor pack. And as always, free shipping Alberta-wide. Visit albertajerky.com, enter the code GOTYOURBACK, and that'll get you an additional 10% off. Brownie?
Well, I had the very first one I was giving out to was to Jakob Chychrun, but since we just covered all that, I'm going to give 72 brownie points instead of Jakob Chychrun. I'm going to give them to Jason Strudwick for the really funny about Jamie McLennan in European suits. So, Strud, you get 72 brownie points for making fun of our good friend Noodles.
He missed it. He missed the line.
I know. It was still pretty good. I know.
It was still funny.
The obvious one. He put it on the tee for himself and then duffed it into the bush.
Well, you can use those 72 brownie points and buy yourself bigger tees, so it'll be easier for you to hit it next time. I've got 32 brownie points to the Canadian men's soccer team's Jonathan David, who scored his 32nd goal while representing Canada. Turned out to be the winner against the U.S. the other day. And a really cool note about this game. So Canada and U.S. played. It was the third place game in the tournament they were just in. Before the game, head coach Jesse Marsh played the beginning of the Canada-U.S. hockey game with all of the fights to pump his soccer team up. And he talked about putting it on for all the players to play. He's been a very proud Canadian, despite the fact he's an American. He's been a proud Canadian over the last little while, and it was kind of cool hearing him talk about having the hockey fights on before they played a soccer game. So good on him. I got 49 brownie points to the Winnipeg Jets. In a battle of the two best teams in the NHL tonight, Nick Ehlers scores in overtime to give the Jets their 49th victory of the season and a berth into the National Hockey League playoffs. Everyone kept waiting for the Jets to have a little bit of a falter, but even with injuries, they continue to win. They beat the Capitals tonight. I've got seven brownie points to the St. Louis Blues, who won their 7th straight game today. They were out of the playoffs at the Four Nation break. They are now only 2 points back of the Wild for the top wild card spot. They have jumped right back into it, giving them a good chance to be in the playoffs and possibly a spoiler in the first round, because there's not a team playing better right now than the St. Louis Blues. In the final one, I got 93 brownie points to RNH. We've seen what he's done on the ice as of late. Struds and I have had the opportunity over the last number of years, but in the last couple of days too, to see what RNH does off the ice. On Sunday night, he's the chairman of the cystic fibrosis dinner. I'm normally there, was sick this year, but he does a fantastic job. He gets up on stage, gives his time. He and his wife do. It's a fantastic. Then last night, Struds and I did an event with him as well. There is a reason he is probably the most popular player that the Edmonton Oilers have had and have for a number of years. He's a fantastic player on the ice, and I got to give him some points off the ice as well. RNH, fantastic young man and a great ambassador of the game of hockey, and certainly a great ambassador of the Edmonton Oilers. So good on you, RNH.
Fantastic. That was Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Good event, Struddy?
Yeah, really good. We had a really good time. Yeah,
nice.
Fun people.
Right on. All right, that was Brownie Points. Zuby, time for Struddy to take center stage, so go ahead and roll the intro.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
Yes, it is time for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, Alberta's leading supplier of vinyl products. DLR offers premium materials for fences and decks designed to stand the test of time. No rotting, fading, no deteriorating. Whether you're looking for a professional contractor or planning to tackle the project yourself, they've got the resources and expertise you need. Canadian owned and operated with locations in Calgary and Edmonton. These are my brothers, Rick and Rob. Check them out online, dlrvinylproducts.ca. Struds?
Spring means one thing for dog owners in their backyard. Time to pick up the turds. The dog turds are everywhere. That's impossible to pick them up in the winter. My wife and I have this ongoing debate about what way or when you should pick up these turds. There's two different things. One, some people in our house believe you should pick them up when they look like dried little raisins. They're sitting there, they're dried out, they're easy to pick up. No problems. Like picking up a little raisin, maybe a little cigarello. Others believe you should pick them up when they're sloppy. Looks like a brown Slurpee you're trying to pick up, and it's going back and forth in your shovel. So I was out there today trying both out. I was picking them up when they looked like a brown Slurpee and picked them up basically with my fingers when they were just a brown little dried out turd. I think we all know the right answer here, and I'm clearly on the side of the brown turd. Looked like a dried apricot. We should all do it like that. So you let the water or let the snow go and let it dry off, and then as it reclines or goes, as it goes away, it just shows a brown turd. You just pick it up. It's easy. My wife wants me in there picking up these brown Slurpees. I can't do that. I don't have the dexterity to handle that type of work. So for all of you who are going to head out and start cleaning up the turds in the back, wait for it to be dry. It's way easier, cleaner, and smells a lot better.
I honestly have nothing. I really have nothing. We just talked about dog poop. Seriously, I got nothing.
Well, I'm trying to help people out.
Really? Because the people out there didn't realize that you should wait and pick up the poop when it's hard instead of...
I see people picking up on the snow. You pick it up on the snow, you got a massive clump of snow and the turd.
Is there any way that we have... Do we have like one of those reset buttons that we can just reset and you can do another one? Because like seriously, we expect more from you than dog poop.
It was on my mind.
Do we,
I picked
Brownie?
up 2 massive buckets.
Do we?
Yeah, good point. Sorry,
2 buckets
Shaugger.
worth.
I guess maybe we put the bar too high for you, Jason. My fault.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to apologize. I'm satisfied with the work I've done both in this and picking up 2 big buckets of dog turds.
Yeah. So in our house, it's actually it's a punishment. So basically, the rule here for the most part is if you get asked to do a chore and it doesn't get done, then you're on dog poop duty, and you get sent out to the backyard to do some time in the backyard. So, it doesn't matter. Slurpee like, frozen solid, fresh as a daisy. It doesn't matter. If you bogey in our house, you're out there picking it up, whatever the texture and temperature is, Streds.
Wow. That doesn't seem like a very fun house to be a part of. You got to send people out willingly to pick up the turds. And I also pick up, I didn't want to brag, but I also pick up pine cones at the same time. So what I do is I put some turds, then I put the pine cones in. I find that they kind of cancel each other out smell-wise.
Right. Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
It's a little secret I didn't know you guys probably didn't know about me.
You didn't do leaves, did you, Struds? Did you do leaves?
I do it in the winter, in the fall, and I have someone come do a spring cleanup. Yeah. But
Okay.
I get most of them in the fall.
My sister-in-law, Elena, actually explained to us that if you rake leaves too early, you can actually destroy important bee habitats. So people that are very in tune with the earth will say, wait as long as you can to do the leaves, because a lot of them are underground at that point, and they require that cover for various things. They bury their larvae in the ground, and that they don't survive the winter, like that there's a habitat going on under there. So leave the leaves a little bit like, did you have any idea of that, Brownie?
I did not actually. See, now that is something that I'd like to learn. Wait a sec. Which side is he? Which way is Struds? Right. That stuff. I didn't need that, but I really enjoyed learning that.
So it sounds like you're talking about undercover bee reproduction, Shaugger, and I totally get that. Right?
Did you just Google that? Did you Google that really quickly?
No, but I learned that in grade 7. Not to brag. Monsieur Baudouin was my teacher.
All right. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Thanks, Struds. Thank you for that. That was awesome. Brownie, you are free, my friend. You are free, and we will chat with you tomorrow night after the Oilers and the Dallas Stars, my friend.
Sounds good. Night.
All right. See you, buddy. That is Rob Brown. He didn't like that, Struds. He was not a fan of that Struddy's World.
No, and you notice he didn't talk about how he cleans up his dog turds.
Yeah. No, he makes his neighbor do it, doesn't he? Doesn't he have someone that comes over and does it for him? Or
I don't know. I just think it takes a little bit of time. You go out there and get it done. And there's some satisfaction in picking up turds.
Yeah. What do you got kids for? You are wasting opportunities like that. This is literally what you have kids for, to go and do that as this.
They swept out my garage. Swept out the garage. That's what they did. Grinded and swept it out.
That's not even close to the same. That's not even close to the same.
I'd rather pick up turds and get all dusty. I don't want to get this nice jacket dirty.
Didn't you once do a Struddy's World on the sanctity of sweeping out the garage properly? I recall that was like one of your first ones, sweeping the garage.
Sweeping the garage, but then I also throw it out onto the street. I don't collect it. I put it on the street. It comes from there. I return it to there. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
But it's not, because then you just drive over it and bring it back into the garage.
I put it on against the far curb.
Okay. All right. That's the Struddy's World for another night. All right. Before we go to break here, let's grab ourselves a scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. The all-new CC Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at an incredible 58%. Their highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date. Full-bodied whiskey with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and a rich oak with that butterscotch finish. There were some requests as the stream was starting if we could have a Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg blackout night. In other words, don't even bring it up. Don't even say it. I'm going to call executive order here, Struds, and I'm going to say, I'm sorry. We're not doing that. We can't do that. We are rooted in the facts, rooted in the numbers. So in the process of our scoreboard tonight, Struds, we're not skipping Holloway and Broberg.
Okay, well, let's start down south with the Flames. 4-3, massive overtime win for them against the Kraken. Kadri gets his 28th for that win in OT. Golden Knights pound the Wild 5-1. Eichel is a hat trick, which is really important unfortunately for the Oilers, but important for Vegas. The Blues, Canadians, Blues pound them 6-1. Jordan Kyrou, 31 goals. Dylan Holloway, 24. And our old buddy Phil Broberg, 8 goals, or 8th goal of the night.
He got a pile of assists too, didn't he?
Oh, did he? I didn't even see it. Did he have a few?
I think he did, bud. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
even. Maybe I don't even want to hear that.
I thought I saw him with 3.
Okay, all right, that's even worse. Sorry, I was trying to skim over it. I only looked at the goals. I didn't check. I usually just look at the goals, but. Anyways, the Leafs pound the Flyers 7-2. Pretty big night for John Tavares' line that includes Bobby McMahon and William Nylander. I believe they had 10 points altogether. So that's a pretty good night. 4-4-2 for Bobby McMahon.
Philip Broberg, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points plus 4.
That's a good night.
Dylan Holloway, a goal and an assist. +2, 5 shots on net and a couple of hits. Yeah. Yikes. Good night.
Now they're in a good playoff spot right now, but they also Calgary, I believe, has 3 games at hand on them. So this is the way it stacks up. St. Louis has 83 points. The Flames have 79 with 3 games at hand on them. So 3 games at hand. So I mean, they could find themselves out if they have a dip and the Flames continue to truck on.
All right, that was our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. Oliver Lawson Tossum says, somebody spy cam Struddy doing all this weird crap. I would like to see the Strudwick home security system, watching him wandering around doing this strange stuff. McDiesel says, if you don't pick it up early, you're going to be dealing with a war zone, says McDiesel.
Yeah, I agree with that. You got to just kind of keep going. Just go every day. I'll go tomorrow, pick up another bucket. By the end of the week, it's pretty much done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We got one more break. Zuby, we got another break, right? Sorry, I'm all lost in the show. We did everything all out of wacky order tonight. One more break?
We do. Yeah.
And then ask us anything. So throw us a thumbs up and then throw us your questions and we'll get Ask Us Anything right on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Join over 250,000 Canadians who have upgraded to Canada's best mattress. Douglas is proudly made in Canada and ships directly to your door for free. Douglas is easy to set up. Enjoy perfectly balanced comfort and an easy-to-clean machine washable cover. Get a free sleep bundle with your Douglas mattress. Try risk-free for 365 nights. Get your Douglas mattress today.
All right, time for Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. Founded in 1976, they're a full-line distributor providing quality, wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. Proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. Zuby, it is your job. Sometime between now and the end of the show, it's your penance to find a way to get the Weiss Johnson jingle in one more time. You owe it to Dennis for desecrating the jingle earlier on in the show. I don't care how it happens, but make sure you get it done.
That's fair. We'll find a way here. Okay. Let's also wrap up the poll here before I forget. We'll just quickly jump back and say that the question was, how do you feel about Darnell Nurse's play this season compared to last? A whopping 75% of the voting public say way better. 20% say small improvement. 2% say about the same. Only 1% saying worse. So we got like 95 plus. I mean, I guess it's nearly fact, but we got 95% saying that they see an improvement, some small or large, in Darnell Nurse's game. So that's nice.
Been pretty obvious. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Let's get back to Ask Us. Here's an interesting thought from our friend Noel Rinsky. He says, which roster would you take right now? Would you rather have last year's team or this year's team? The Oilers, assuming everyone on the roster is healthy. The group they finished with last year, or the group they have right now with everyone healthy?
Last year by a mile.
Yeah, I would take last year. I'm not going to go by a mile. I think that's TBD. Depends how this group does. But there are some
elements. Are they playing as well as the guys are playing this year? Or like last year's roster playing like last year's players?
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's difficult also to compare what the team is doing this year to last year because of how long they played last year, right? I think it's a different dynamic. So, but I mean, I love Holloway. I think he's a good player, and Broberg, Fogle, and How
come you're struggling with this, Struds? This feels really obvious to me. They went to Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final and almost won it with last year's roster. This year, they're not as good this year. They're not as fast. They're not as. I don't think that this is. I think there's a margin there.
Okay. Yeah. No. I can't go take it by a mile, but I like Jake Wallman. I like that addition. What he brings to the team. Yeah. So I prefer him to, let's say, a Cody Ceci. And then Darnay. Darnay. Yeah. So I mean, I think the D. I probably but Broberg's speed is missed for sure. But I want to give it a chance. I want to give this group a chance to see what they can do. Before I take by a mile, I think that's fairly strong. But I can't get there. I can't get there.
Last year's forward group with this year's defense says whoever that was.
Yeah.
Phyrogenaceous or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Pyrogenius.
It's probably a fair comment.
Okay.
Okay, Joe Dokes, our friend down there in sunny Florida, says, when will Trent Frederick start playing? Do you think there's a game? Do you think there's a game on the calendar? Let's take a guess.
I will say the Blues on the 9th.
Not much time there. Not much.
That feels
time.
like a lot. I mean, I'm being super conservative with that because it feels like. I mean, I haven't seen the whites of the guy's eyes since his media availability yet. It's not like he's on the ice with the team. Not that I have seen. So that right there is a flag for me.
There's not much time to get chemistry going. That's the scary thing about that signing. You might not even. This could be quick. So, yeah, I hope he blends in quickly.
Okay, let's get to, there was a message here, a couple of things about Ty Emberson. Zach said, weren't we hearing a lot of rumblings about signing Emberson when the new year came around? Do you when do you expect the Oilers to re-sign Ty Emberson there, Shaugger?
Yeah, well, there's been a change in agent there as well, from what I understand. I think there was a great opportunity for Ty Emberson to sign a deal, and I think there was some hesitation there. And it's kind of gone the wrong way since that time. Now you're starting to get in around playoff time. I don't know if that's something you start negotiating now. If I'm the team, Struds, I'm probably not feeling the same way about his game as I was, back before Christmas when this was probably looking at getting done. So I'm not sure that it happens before the end of this season, probably an off-season thing, and we'll see how he finishes here.
Yeah, timing is huge in negotiations, right? Timing is massive, absolutely massive. And I think there was an opportunity. Now, it doesn't mean that both sides were willing to do that opportunity, but I think there was an opportunity there. There was missed. If it did present itself for Emberson, and I'd be interested to know why he has a new agent. Was there a discussion it didn't work out, or that he didn't like what the agent was doing? So who knows? The reason for the change in agent.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure on what the timing was of that and if those two things would be tied together. So I'm going to be careful with that. I don't want to be blaming anybody for anything that we don't know. But, we'll see what happens here. It'll be an interesting one.
Just a little note. Maybe this came up. I didn't hear him. Travis Farquharson noted in the Chychrun thing that Bouch is right-handed. Chychrun shoots left, which I think in the market today makes Bouch more valuable, would it not, Struddy?
Yeah, there's probably a bit of a premium there, but you're getting up at that number. It's a pretty big number, and it's Chychrun at 9. That's, if you go long, that's the floor. That is the floor at very least, and I think you're going up above that by quite a bit.
Let me ask you this: if Evan Bouchard played this season in Washington and Jakob Chychrun played this season in Edmonton, what do you think their numbers would look like? You know what I mean? Strud's like, Bouchard plays on this power play, not that it's been lights out, but with McDavid, with Draisaitl. How does he acquit himself on a good, really, really good team, but without those guys there?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah. Would they be that different? Like, what is Bouch got 55 points and Chychrun has 43?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So would they flip flop? Would Bouch get more?
Goals, maybe? Yeah.
Does he touch the puck more? I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I don't think it'd be dramatically different where he drops down to 20 points or something. I think the points would still be flowing there.
Yeah.
All right. I asked people for some non-game night questions as well. So the Dr. Carpy says, when do you fellas plan to go golfing, and what'll be the first course that you play, Shaugger?
Probably Belvedere, I would think. That's my home course out here. So when it's ready to go, playoffs will have a lot to say about that, I would think. But I'm thinking it'll probably be Belvedere. And Struds, I don't know where the rematch is going to be between us this year. I think as the two-time defending champion, I think I will defer to you and let you pick the course this year that you want to play.
Yeah. I mean, guess we won't count the one we played in the rain. I beat you. Whatever. Just count the ones you want, right? The ones that you remember. Or I guess when we had the putting contest at De Boers, but whatever. Like just count the ones you want.
Hey,
I know you're suffering from a gout pinky nail or something, but I'll play whatever. I'll be ready. I'll be ready.
All right.
Is Belvedere? We know that they are proud to be local. Is Belvedere family owned?
Belvedere's owned. It's like a board. I don't think there's a single owner of Belvedere, so it's not like that. Why do you ask?
Oh, because if they were proud to be local and family owned, they'd be just like.
I knew you could do it, Zuby. And you did it smoothly too, buddy.
You didn't know where I was going with that, or you helped set me up.
You totally had me confused. Yeah. All right. They're definitely proud to be local. I know that about Belvedere.
Absolutely.
Well done, buddy.
Okay, there's another. We've touched on this before, but I feel like it's good to go back to it every once in a while. And I did request again the non-game night questions. Nate Hayes said, "What are the fellas' favorite all-time movies or go-to rewatch movie? The Desert Island movie." I know I've put this on you guys before, so you can give one of two answers. What do you think is what's your favorite movie of all time, or what's your Desert Island rewatch movie?
So many.
I'm going to go with anytime I see this on TV, I watch the entire thing. The Hunt for Red October.
Oh, so good. Let Them Sing. Yeah, that's
so good.
Oh, that's a good one. There's so many. You know what? Oh God, I might go with Braveheart though. I haven't seen it for a number of years now, but I just love that show. William Wallace. Yeah.
Really?
Soups, you got one?
Noah Rinsky says A Few Good Men. That's a good one. That's so rewatchable just because the dialogue is so good. I was gonna say that was funny. I remember, you guys know the drive-in. I don't think it's there anymore. That used to be behind up by Leon's and the north side, like off 137th Street. When I was like coming out of high school, they had a double feature that was Apollo 13 and Braveheart. And like the sun was coming up by the time it was over.
Yeah, right.
It was outrageous. And I think I even fell asleep. I was in a van or something with a bunch of buddies, and I kept waking up in Braveheart, and there's another battle. Another battle. Isn't this the last one? I had to keep asking. Anyway.
We got some good suggestions on the stream. Shawshank Redemption. We got Fight Club. We got 7. Hangover 1. What's Milo and Otis on repeat for me? What's Joe Dokes is saying? Milo and Otis. What is that even?
I don't know.
I have to say, but I would say for a long time, I would say 7 is actually it's not my repeat movie, but I have said for a long time, it's my favorite movie of all time. And Shawshank is great too. Again, just like great dialogue that you could just like listen to, find something else in the movie. Those are great.
Okay.
Great choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. That was,
no, I think we're good.
We're done.
Let's do one. I got one more. One more.
Okay.
On the Leon Hart Trophy thing, and Hontorio Momes reminding us. Remember last year, all people talked about was how goals are more valuable when it came to Matthews. Austin Matthews. Shouldn't the same thing go for Leon? But I don't hear that talk this year. I haven't heard that this year, but it was pretty prominent last year, right, Shaugher?
From out east, you mean? From out east, you're saying? Mm-hmm. From that, the center of the universe, maybe? Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see when the debate really gets heating up. But I think if he can get back here and he's going to cross that plateau. He'll score a few more here. I think he'll probably be able to dig his nails into this thing. I would be surprised if it's not him this year. But that Struds, you don't agree?
I want it to happen. I want it to happen, and I just wonder if this little hiatus of injury stings a little bit.
Yeah,
depends how quick he gets back.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap our show with our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental, offering a full range of services designed to keep your smile healthy. Their experienced team providing personalized care with the latest technology to make sure you get the best treatment possible. I saw the doc the other day heading into the Oiler game. Had a nice little chat. Great to see him. Contact Gallery Dental, YEG And we go back to Washington for this one tonight, Struds. Boys will be boys. Do you not have this one? Okay. Subi, are you aware?
I have. You know what? I have it, but I got to drag it in.
I have a different one, but go ahead.
Oh, you didn't see me send it into the chat today, Struds?
No.
Okay, well, you did not. Once
I
again,
did.
you're not paying attention to the group chat.
I did.
We will have two plays of the day today. So the one that I had chosen was Jakob Chychrun's teammates. You don't have it yet? You got it, Zuby?
1 second.
Pull it in. Pull it in.
Bring it in. You can start telling it. Hopefully I'll have it up here in a second. It's
pretty simple.
It's good with
money bags, right? Signs that monster deal. So his teammates, unbeknownst to Chychrun, have the $100 bill strapped to the back of his practice sweater. I don't know how long it ended up staying there for, and he didn't know it was there. So pretty. Here's a tweet from Tom Galudi. You can kind of see it there. $100 bill strapped to the back of Jakob Chychrun's practice sweater, which I thought was a nice touch from the fellas. He'll be buying dinner, Struds.
Yeah. Oh, he'll be buying lots of dinners. And then mine was from closer at home. I love seeing guys score overtime winners, especially what's important. Nazem Kadri in Calgary, breakaway in overtime, backhand, forehand goal, and the place went nuts. Absolutely nuts. Coaches were fired up. Like, that team is trending. They want to get in the playoffs. It was an unreal. You got to check the highlights out. It was so good.
All right. Great stuff tonight, guys. And man, we got a mountain of content coming your way. So we got a Struddy's World coming up in like 14 hours. So got your back, Struddy's World, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock live on our YouTube and X channels. Make sure you check it out with these two clowns. I'll join them as well. And then tomorrow night, post game, another podcast. And then the following night, after the Kraken game, another one. We'll drop a Ray and Dreg somewhere in there as well. Zuby, you're going to be jammed, my friend.
And I'm thinking of doing a little afternoon podcast just of me taking a nap and see if anybody will tune in to that.
Love it. Well, wear an Oiler logo and people will love it, because that's the time of year we're in, and rightfully so. It's getting exciting again. Good job tonight, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Reds.
Good times, guys. Talk tomorrow.
And thanks to all of you that joined us on the stream tonight. Have a great finish to your night, and we will chat tomorrow at 12 o'clock for Struddy's World, and then post-game tomorrow night. See you soon.